I have done that now, so hopefully that works. Yes, there we
Oh, now
go.
it's working. Cool.
Sweet, cool.
Uh,
Right, we're on.
did you have another interview after this?
No. They're done now. So
Oh,
we
cool.
put
Okay.
this. We just run back. That's
Oh,
fine.
awesome. Well, I'll still try to keep this timely and everything, but I'm
That's
glad
all right.
we're able to get this working out and be able to continue on with this.
Yeah, no, totally. At last, that's all good.
Oh, and it's great to be able to talk to you and talk about this amazing new album, Serpent and Spirit, which is going to be coming out next Friday through Candlelight Records. I've
Mhm.
gotten the chance to be able to check this album out this week, and it's just you guys cover so much ground on this album that I deeply appreciate, from the lyrics to the different styles of music that's going on to just the overall
Excellent.
package of what you guys are doing. I mean, this is just one incredible debut.
Oh, thanks very much, man. That means a lot. I'm really glad you dig it.
Oh, oh, absolutely. So, with that in mind, like, how did this whole band come together?
So myself and Angus, so I'm just moving things. Myself and Angus were in a band. Well, we've been in a number of bands together over the years, and so I've got to just quickly charge up. So me and Angus have been in a number of bands over the years, and before Urne came about, we were in a band called Hang the Bastard, who were like signed to like Century Media and what have you. And once that split up, we kind of wanted to carry on doing stuff because we're best pals, and it was just like, we love doing music, so you just don't want it to end. So we started writing some music, that kind of stuff that we were writing for Hang the Bastard, which is a lot more kind of sludgier, doomy sort of vibe. And we kind of took a year out just to kind of piece it together. But I wouldn't say that's not really the genre of music that me and Angus have grown up playing. We're more been into kind of like metal bands and kind of proggy bands and technical bands. So we got the EP done, kind of like, because that was in our system. It's very easy stuff. But yeah, then from there, like leading up to the EP, we needed another drummer. And Rich, I've known him for years, and I've wanted to be in a band with that guy for years, just because as a person, he's just so like me and Angus. And yeah, dropped him a text, and he texts back saying, "I've been waiting for this." So he's been waiting for like 6 years for me to text him and go, "I want to be in a band with you." So yeah, that's how it kind of came about, really. So yeah, me and Angus putting it together after an old band split up, and then asking Rich to join a couple of months later once we had some songs wrote.
It's amazing how it can work out like that. I mean, when one thing ends and you still want to be able to continue on, and you find
Mm-hmm.
all the right members to be able to make that band be able to
Mm,
continue on, and then also forging a new style as well too, because
yeah.
there's so much ground that's covered in this album, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
it's got those metal moments, but it's got so many other things to it as well.
Yeah, no, excellent. Yeah, I just think that kind of comes from all three of us. As much as we love the metal, we also have, each of us have kind of like an offshoot stuff like that we're into. So it's just kind of letting everything that we all enjoy kind of seep out, be it for like a couple of seconds in a song, be it a vocal melody that I've been listening to a certain like soul singer or whatnot, and I'm like, I'd love to be able to do something like that. So yeah, we just kind of, everyone just kind of lets them, like, kind of everyone has that moment. And I think also it's the first time I've been in a band with three people, and it is so much easier to like stress free, compared to being in a band with five people and what have you. Just, you only have to deal with the three guys, and we're all best friends anyway, so it's dead easy.
Oh,
I'd
totally.
recommend being in a three piece to anyone, actually. But like, I don't know how Slipknot do it. Lunatics.
Oh yeah. Anytime I've been in a band, I mean, like the less members involved always seems to be working out the best. I mean, obviously
Mm.
there's a lot of 4 and 5 piece bands, and just like you mentioned, Slipknot has 9. But when you're able to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
scale it down to like those bare essentials with a 3 piece band, it can work out so killer.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. And it makes you kind of try harder. Like, we don't have any like backing stuff live. We had someone say, "Oh, you should get a second guitarist." Angus runs two cabs each side of the stage. He has pedals, and I just think it highlights how amazing Angus is on guitar. Like, just having it is just him. I have quite a few things that I do on bass to kind of beef it up if he's doing a solo and some sort of certain pedals. And live, it feels massive live. To be fair, so I'm big time into the three piece, man. And if you need to travel to a show, Christ, it makes things easier.
Oh, that's so true. So, you know, when all this started happening, you know, when you guys started getting together and you started working on songs together, like, when did it start to feel like things were going in the right direction?
Do you know what? I think the first song of what I can remember was the song opening track "Serpent and Spirit," and we knew it was from the opening sort of that sort of haunting like guitar melody. Well, we knew we was onto something better than what the EP was, because I know I don't want to sound like a fucking egotistical prat, but the EP was really simple for what we can do musically. Like, there's better musicians in the world. There's guys like Jeff Loomis. There's fucking drummers like Eloy from Sepultura, and there's every bass player under the sun's better than me. But when it comes to writing a song, I feel like one thing we between us always we know what to make a song feel epic, feel interesting, and to tell a story. Each song tells its story, and I think from the moment we wrote Serpent and Spirit, the opening track, we knew things were going to be good. But the one thing you want to do is, as soon as you kind of finish that song, you want to write another killer song afterwards. And yeah, we wrote, I think the second track two on the album, I think, was the next track we wrote. And yeah, I thought once we got kind of halfway through, I thought we might have a good album on our hands. And you don't truly know that until you send it to people. Like, we can each go, God, this is a wicked album, like really feeling like confident about it. But you're just telling each other it. You're not going to go, God, this album's shit, lads. Let's put this out. No one will care. But once we sent it, the first Darren from Candlelight Spine Farm, he was like, I want to hear it. So I sent him one track, and within 5 minutes, he was on the phone like, this is mental. And here we are now, 6 months later. It's all been a bit mad. It's all happened really quick. It's exciting. I worry and panic about everything in life. So next week I'm going to be in a terrible state leading up to the release. But yeah, I can't believe how quick things have happened, man. And like, it's nice to know that we knew we had something good, but it's nice to hear that other people think, yeah, this is a very good album. So it makes you feel great about yourself. Totally.
Oh, for sure. And I can definitely say from my fan perspective, all of the great recognition I've seen for you guys, whether it's on YouTube with the videos, whether it's reviews that I've seen, whatever the case is, I've just seen such high praise for you guys, and it's absolutely deserved. The more that I listen to the album, and I really hear how deep the album is too. You know, obviously musically, there's so much going on, but
Yeah.
lyrically too. I mean, you can
Yeah, man.
really feel the emotion that's going on throughout the album.
Yeah, and I think like that's one thing I've always tried to do. Like, it's weird. Like, I've been in recording booths with other people in other bands and whatnot, and when they start recording, I'm like, oh, like, and it really blew my mind because like, I've been around some guys and their voice on record sounds really loud and powerful, and in reality, it's far from it. It's almost at like a speaking level, and I was like, fuck, like, so there's so many tricks, and I was completely like oblivious to like how many tricks there are behind the scenes, but I can't do that. I have to. The harder I shout, the louder I shout, the more passion that I think comes out in my voice. Be it clean singing, which I'm still getting used to. I'm not going to be Whitney Houston at any point, but I try and do what I can do within my ability. But the heavy singing, I care. Like, I truly care, and I want it to come out, and I want to get into a mindset. And there's like a studio video of Desolate Heart, and I'm like being very theatrical, but that's because I am. It's not an act. I'm truly like going for this, and I've been, you know, it's something that I'm still trying to learn. Something I'm trying to get better at, and yeah, I really just want the passion to get through, and it's nice to hear that people have like picked up on that. So yeah, thanks for that.
Oh, not a problem. And I think that's a great example right there with a Desolate Heart, because that was the very first song that I checked out from you guys, because I checked out the video, and again, I can just feel the emotion that's going on there. Like when it shows you singing, like you can see that emotion that's going through there, and the real power that's going through there. And what I really do appreciate is just like some great simple nuances that's going on with that song in particular. Like it can be so heavy, but then all of a sudden it's just got like this riff that is just like so melodic, that is like going on. And you know, it's just like it's a simple melodic riff, but it just like it changes the music, and it really makes you pay attention. And I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, certainly with that song. Funny enough, the first few minutes of that song was something that me and Angus wrote, was started to write for a band that we were in some years ago. And I mean, if you like Desolate Heart, it's full of stuff that you'd probably really like. And I forgot kind of about it for a few years. And when we was writing, I kind of stumbled upon an old sort of demo of the first few minutes. And I sent it around, and I was like, lads, like, we could turn this into something. Like, there's not bands who are doing this at the moment. If anything, to be honest with you, that's a bit of a tip of the hat to Nevermore in our own style. Like Nevermore, you know, it's just, I don't know if you're into them, but they, you know,
Absolutely.
heavier than us, and like more of a unique singer than myself. But that was a band me and Angus have always taken big influence from, and like Nevermore and Death are kind of like the kind of big go-tos for us. Even though you probably hear the album and you wouldn't think that, but they are big, huge inspirations to us. Alongside, you know, the first four Metallica. I'd take Kill 'Em All out of that. I'd probably put Black Album in, and that's, you know, that sort of stuff, and Rust in Peace, Megadeth. But Nevermore and Death are like big time influence, and they would know, like, even though it can be frantic with those bands, there's moments where it's just a simple, everything will drop out and it should be a simple lead or something, and it just changes the vibe of the song. And I definitely think that's something we've tried to do on this album. I certainly think Desolate Heart, you don't have too many songs like that, so that's why it's in the middle of the album. It's the centerpiece, and when I think people hear that, I just think, you know, anyone I know who's heard it industry wise, even like my friends who have heard it, like, have gone like, that song's an amazing song. And over here, like, there we've got Dom Lawson, who's one of the best metal critics in the world, and he's a guy that I looked up to as a kid, like reading his articles and watching his interviews, and I thought he was the man. And he contacted about the album, and he just thinks it's unreal, and he says Desolate Heart's just something else. And like, he gave it a review, and it blows my mind that people think of like our stuff at that level. And it's hard to take, like, especially doing interviews and people going, this is a really good album, that's a really good song, and we're like, yeah, great. And like, wow, thanks for that. Like, because it's like weird, because we've given it away now. There you go, we've given it to people, and I'm just glad that people are enjoying it. And I think there's a lot on this album, and I think it offers something to a lot of people. Certainly people who I think people who are after just a really good heavy metal album. And I'm not saying heavy metal in the sense of, like, I'm not coming out like Rob Halford in like some leathers and a bike, not that heavy metal, just a whole like landscape of heavy metal on an album. And I really hope that people do give it the time and enjoy it.
Oh yeah, and that's why I say that it is so much up my alley, is because, like, there's no way to really pinpoint what the band is other than calling it a metal band, because there are so many layers that's going on. I mean, if you're looking for a particular style, you might be able to hear it in this band, and if you don't hear it on this album, it might come up in the future.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, kind of in a way, I like about a year and a half ago, or before COVID, I went on a podcast over here called Riot Act, and it was a live audience one, and it's quite a big podcast over here. And I had a few jars, a few drinks, and I was one of the guests who had to speak, and it was really mad because everyone else is in like wicked bands, Conjurer and Employed to Serve, all these bigger bands, and there's me who hasn't been really doing music at that level for a while. And I got up and I said, like, the EP's simple and fun, but the next one, it will be like From Kill 'Em All to Ride the Lightning. And everyone was like laughing. I was like, no, deadly serious, like, guys, the jump up's going to be a massive, but it's not this album, it's the one afterwards. But I felt like we made a better album than I thought we were going to make. So now I'm like, fuck, we've really got to up it for the next album. But we have we like so much music. And it's funny, you get people to go, yeah, I like all music. I like all this and that. I like, death metal, black metal, jazz metal. And I'm like, oh, you like metal? Yeah. But I think where we kind of cover so many ground, there's so much more I really truly believe we have a lot more to give. And I just think once you get the confidence of people turning around saying, oh, this is a really good album, that's a really good song, you're a really good band, blah, blah, blah. We've not had that. So it gives you confidence. It makes you think, fucking hell, yeah, guys, we can do something. So I can't wait to see what we do next. And I can't wait to see the album after that. And, it's exciting, man. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, and you guys really should be excited with that too. And the fact that you are able to take all these different elements, and it doesn't just sound like a conglomerate of noise. I mean, it sounds structured, like all the songs make sense, and with the track order that's going along with it, it just has this great ebb and flow feel to it. And then when you have the music, and then you add those great dark, real emotional lyrics on top of that. I mean, just everything about it just like really grabs a hold of you, no matter what you're looking for in the music. And
No,
it's
totally.
just I appreciate the amount of time and effort that really went into this. And I gotta agree with that. It's just like I did check out the EP after checking out this album, and it does feel like it's that Kill 'Em All to Ride the Lightning, but totally different styles of music.
Yeah. I mean, there's some moments where I'd go, yeah, maybe like on the EP. There's a lot of swing. There's more groove. There's more swing there, and we've started writing some stuff for the next album, and there's maybe a little bit of that being incorporated back because it's hooky. It's easy to get into, but I think what we've done with this, we planted like so many foundations on this album that we can go wherever we want. There's so much, we have such ability, and we listen to so much and we write so many different styles that I feel like we've planted different things throughout this album that if we took a song in another direction, or we took something in an album in another direction, it wouldn't shock people because we've shown from the get-go that we have an ability to go down different avenues and to kind of try different things. So, I definitely think it's exciting to see what we can come up with in the future. And I mean, if the quality of improvement between the EP to this, I'd like to think that we could do that again. But I didn't realize we were going to write an album that people were going to say, that's amazing. I was like, oh God, now I feel like we've really got to live up to it.
But that's also the beauty of it too, because you just went in with the notions of wanting to make an album that you guys were going to be proud of making. And now that you know that there's an audience behind it, that that you can trust those instincts.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's weird. Like we did write an album obviously for ourselves because, there's not many bands. There's a lot of bands who sound like 10 other bands, and there's a lot of bands who sound like 100 other bands. But we tried to do our own sound. And an interview I had before this, the guy was kind of like, I really can't put my finger on it. But I was like, well, every song does sound like Urne. And I think a lot of it stems from our guitarist, Angus. But I think like we've already kind of found our sound. And I think it helps. My vocals are quite, I have a certain harshness to it. And I think that kind of makes it stand out a little bit. But I just think it's quite cool that, like I say, I think we've sort of found our sort of sound already. which is nice. And I know some bands it takes ages to find that, but I've touched on with a few interviews, like the whole, you join, make a band, and you can make it, it's your band, you can do what you want. And it kind of baffles me when people go, I'm going to start a band, it's going to be like deathcore, and it's not my sort of music, to be fair. But I'm like, but loads of bands do that. Loads of bands do that. A lot of vocals in that genre, they all sound the same. I can't do it. Fair fucks whoever does that. But it's your chance to have like a blank canvas and make your band be whatever you want. And so chuck all your influences, chuck all like your heroes, everything onto that canvas, and see what comes out. And that's what we kind of did with this album. Throughout the album, there's definitely like a lot of tip of the hat to a lot of heroes of ours, be it lyrically, like, man, I love Saxon, and there's a little line I've taken from Saxon. It's little things like that, like that kind of go throughout the album. But that's the reason we all listen to music, to enjoy things and let them inspire you. And that's what I think we've done with this, taken not just one or two influences, not just your Metallica and Mastodon. We've just taken loads and just tried to create our own thing. And then it seems to have done well, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Oh, definitely. And I know I feel that way, and I'm so happy to see that others feel the same way. And, along with making the album and making the songs the best that they can be and having that real powerful emotion that's going on behind it, I also really feel like the album cover is just like a perfect display of what the album is about. I love the colors that's going on there, the reflections that's going on there. It's just, it feels so natural for that to be the album cover.
Yeah, it's funny. Like one of our good friends who actually just shot our new music video for Palace of Devils and Wolves. He's an amazing photographer, and he took the pitch throughout the booklet. It's all his art. It's all his art. It's all like kind of like derelict sort of areas and whatnot. And he had that picture, and we've edited it, and we took out some bits because in a way, if you look at it upside down, there's trees and bushes missing from the lake, and some of it isn't. So we kind of wanted to give that, because it's about a story of a guy caught between two worlds. Now, I kind of wanted to kind of give that view that it's like Stranger Things, like whatever, the upside down malarkey, whatever it's called, the upside down world or something. So I wanted to kind of give that view where what you see is not always what you see, and what you think you're seeing. And that's what we've done. If you look at the artwork, some of the bits are taken out. And it took a while to kind of get it how we wanted. And luckily, like our rep, straight away, he got it. He loved it. And I wanted it to be like, if I was to go to like a metal festival and you have the stall that sells all the vinyls, and then you'll have all these ones with blood and guts. You have the other ones who've got He-Man on it. You've got other ones that have just a blank cover, and then you'll have that. And to me, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit unique. And the colouring, the colour scheme, the rich orange and that. And the vinyl is actually orange as well. Like, we're not doing, at the moment, like, everyone would do the black and then the limited edition would be the orange. No, every vinyl is orange, like, because it just fits in with everything. And I think the only colour on the actual album in the booklet is just on the front, and I think a little bit on the back. So everything else is just black and white and all grey inside, but the colour on the front is the one thing that really stands out. So I'm really glad you like that. And our friend Gav, he does it as a hobby, and I think he's serious. Some of his stuff is unreal, like his nature stuff, and he's just got some unreal bits. So hopefully from this, he'll have people going, fucking hell, that guy's good at what he does.
Oh, for sure. And I'm glad that you did bring up those little nuances that are going on with the album cover as well, like being able to take things out that you don't see, like in the reflection when you turn it upside down, because it does match the lyrics, just like you were talking about. Like, things are not always the way that they appear, and that can apply to so many different things in life. Like, it can apply mentally, it can apply to different visions or opinions or thoughts or whatever that is. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can take that, and it depends on all on how you look at it.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's all little bits, little kind of, I love, it's almost like little Easter eggs, little teasers, like, and you're just kind of like looking at something and thinking, what is behind that? And like I love things like that, like kind of little bits, or like you be even in like an album, or when you watch a film and there's something that you might not realize from like watching it 100 times, and then you'd be like, oh, okay, the main tree's gone, from the reflection. People, you would just assume. Some people will see it straight away, some won't. But there's little bits and bobs throughout the albums, like I say, like little, like in Serpent and Spirit, there's a bit where it drops out and it's just the hit of a load of floor toms, and that's just inspired by something from AC/DC in the Thunderstruck. Just little bits like that. Just looking at all your heroes and being like, what would they try and do? And I'm giving away all like the little tips, but everyone does it. But so many people try and pass it off as, oh yeah, that's really original, something I thought of. In reality, Slayer did it like 30 years ago or something. But yeah, there's loads of little bits throughout the album, certainly. And lyrically, in the booklet, we don't give away much lyrics. We give away a paragraph from every single song. So there's a little bit, but I don't want to give away the whole concept, the whole story yet.
Yeah, I love hearing that, because again, it's about that perception. I mean, when you just get a little bit of each song, it's just like you can fill in the rest, and it might be right, it might be wrong, but again, it comes to that perception of how you take the rest of it.
Yeah, man, totally. And like growing up thinking that I'm singing the right lyrics to something, and you go back years later and you're like, what the fuck was I singing? And you're making up lyrics in your head. You're like, this is a banger, and yeah, it's completely wrong. And I think it's just interesting. Like I like what if I put lyrics on every single page, I put all the lyrics, it's not mine anymore, and I've fully given it out to the world, and mean that even though people will be able to hear it and dissect and be like, oh, this is what he's saying. Hopefully not. Hopefully people get it wrong, and I like just keeping a little bit back for me and the other two guys in the band. I quite like that, and some of our PR guys have been like, oh, we need the lyrics for the radio, and I'm like, do you? Like, yeah, we won't be posting them. They just need to make sure there's no swear words. Well, there's not. I'm like, well, they don't know that. And I'm like, oh, God. So it really made me feel on edge, but they've not been published anywhere. But, it's just, I just want, kept some of the lyrics back just for myself and, like I say, the rest of the guys in the band. And maybe one day I'll publish them all, if anyone gives a shit.
I really do like the idea of that. I mean, especially like years down the road, releases down the road, if there's some kind of like lyric book with some like amazing photography that matches with it, I think that could be such a great like coffee table book to be able to look at and enjoy.
I'd love to, I'd love to do it. Hopefully, hopefully I can try and keep on top of it. And I already sort of know for the next album, the lyrical content is going to be a lot deeper, because just certain things in life, and I already know that it's going to be a hard one to write because it's going deeper than I've ever had to. But yeah, I mean, again, with that, if I'm in my head, if it's going to be the way it's going to be, I'll probably do the same with that, because that's the way it's shaping up is a lot more meaningful to me.
Absolutely. And I can speak as someone that goes through a lot of mental health struggles myself, and just like knowing that when I can attach myself to music, whether it's the lyrics that's going on or just the power and emotion that's going along with it, because you can get that without even knowing the words. It's just like when you can feel that power and emotion, and sometimes pain or anger, whatever's going on, it's so reflective, and a lot of people can feel that way. And it's just it's great to be able to see that throughout this album too, and the fact that the next release is going to be going even deeper and darker than where it's already going. It's just like, I know for people like myself, we need those kind of albums out there to feel less alone, so I thank you in advance for doing that.
No, totally. And I mean, it's a different sort of thing, like with Serpent and Spirit. I said it in the press release, and it comes across, it's hard because reading it, I literally, I had a really bad like 2 months over something like with me as a person. Instead of just going to the root of the issue and just getting things sorted out, I let it build up, and in the end, I'd like completely stress myself out. And it was weird because it was something so minor, but I just got myself in a really just a bit of a built up way. And you know, sometimes I had a friend of mine just come and spoke to me, and he's a police officer, and it was like I was getting told off. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And he was what he was getting out of me was a response. And from that, I went in, I had to do what I had to do, and went to see people I had to see, and to get myself to, checked out and whatnot. And I felt great, honestly. Like I felt so different. And yeah, and if a good friend of mine just sitting down and just going, what's the matter? And it's as easy as that, and I know everyone says it, and I've never been in that sort of situation before, so I never really knew. It's like, I'm a bit of a gobby bastard, and I'd never been in that situation. And then, just one person just pulls you aside and has a chat, and just changes everything. And I feel lucky for that. And I know there's a lot of people who have it a lot worse, and struggle constantly for years and years. And it's if people listen to this and read it and take something from it, that's fantastic. And as I say, like the next one's probably going to be a bit deeper, but it's for a completely different reason for now. But yeah, it's something that's gonna really bring me to a place that I've not been before. So fingers crossed I can do a good justice to it.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited to hear what that's going to be when that eventually comes out. But, until then, it's great timing to be able to see this album coming out next Friday. And the fact that the world is starting to open back up again, festivals are getting announced, touring's getting announced for this year and next year. And it's great to see that you guys won't have to sit on this as long as other bands have had to sit on albums, and you guys are actually going to be able to go out and tour.
Yeah, I mean, A Killer for Us was meant to be out in July, but it's been the lockdown's been extended over here for like another month, so we're having to cancel and postpone some dates. But we've got some really good stuff to announce, which I can't say at the moment. And then, it's our first show back is going to be a festival with like flipping Judas Priest and that. And I'm just gonna shitting myself. But it's there's some bands who completely had albums out, and they've not been able to do anything. And like you said, we're very lucky to be able to have that chance to get some touring done, and hopefully that all goes well, and hopefully the response is there. And I think everything we've had from our label was just like, you're not going to come out the gate and be the biggest band in the world, right? You're not going to be the it band, but this will build. And I feel like when I feel the album's so strong, I feel like word of mouth, be it you leave, like go from here and tell a couple of mates and whatnot, and they tell a couple of mates. I feel like there's so much that we have to offer. I feel like it will be a steady build, but I think things will go really well. I hope so. I actually really hope so. I've jinxed myself now. I've absolutely, completely killed all of that. But hopefully things do pick up, and it'd be nice to see people coming out to see us on tour, which would be an amazing feeling if they come to see your band. I'll be like, lunatics, go and spend that money somewhere else. No, don't. Give me your money. No. So it's hopefully shows and festivals all go to plan.
Oh, totally. And it's just like I love so much of what's going on with this album in particular. But I know the one thing that's missing is hearing it in that live setting, because I feel like the songs are going to be even stronger in that live setting, and it's going to be so great to see what that result's going to be.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've played some of them live. We're like one of them bands, like we don't mind, get bands who write songs and never play them live before you record. But we always like kind of testing it because it's a different energy. You want to see how it comes across. And we like, I mean, as you can tell, it's a very guitar-driven album. And we've only got one guitarist, Angus, and he runs through two cabs either side. So it sounds very full. He has a lot of pedals, harmonizers and whatnot. And we do it. I like to think we do it really well. The responses we always get are pretty good. And I have a few things that have to do with my bass to fill it out and during sections, like with solo sections and whatnot. And there's going to be some bits, obviously, that won't be there, like certain backings for solos, because if Angus wrote a backing and put it on the album. But I don't think if people were to see it, I don't think you'd be like, oh God, they missed that chord behind the solo. I think we do it pretty well, and I'm buzzing. I think there's 3 songs we haven't played live. One of them's Desolate and Desolate Heart, and the instrumental we haven't played live. So I'm excited to play Desolate Heart, because I think people really are really into that song.
Oh, totally. And yeah, that's why I'm just so excited to see what's happening for you guys. I mean, with the album coming out next week, getting announced for awesome festivals, like being able to play the same festival as Judas Priest, being able to headline that, everything else that's going to happen in the future, thinking about the next release, getting promotion from someone like myself and other people around the world, and getting that high reception. I mean, it's just, just like it was mentioned before, like not being the top band in the world right now, but it's that rise that's starting to happen now. You guys are starting to get that climb, getting that name recognition out there. And, before too long, there's going to be so many more people that's going to know you guys and appreciate what I appreciate about you guys already.
No, totally. And it's mad for us, like when you look at like so many people get caught up in social media and how many likes or how many follows someone has. And that's mad for us, because we're probably the smallest band that our label has. We're probably, at this present time, we're probably the smallest band that our booking agent has. But they've all seen, something there. And I'm cracking up. I like look on Twitter. We're dead on Twitter. No one gives a shit. Like we can't. I have no idea what to do on Twitter, because everyone chats and all friendly, and I'm just like, all right, no one responds. No one gives a shit. And but we clearly onto something. And when I see certain people start following us, I'm like, oh my God, like blah 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 from Black Dahlia Murders or whoever is like following us, and I'm like, oh, okay, like that's exciting. I say we're starting to see a difference there. But yeah, I was so concerned about social media things and views and that I was like, oh, we're not going to make it because we've only got 1,000 likes. If you're good enough, it shows that there are people out there who care about how good a band is more than all the other stuff,
Yeah, it's so very true. And, sometimes it can be that slow process, and sometimes it can just blow up to be huge. But I think that steady climb is just the best way to be able to go, and just being able to grow and grow with every tour, every festival show, every release that's happening. And I can already feel that happening for you guys.
Man, I hope so. I wouldn't want to miss anything. And like I said, me and Angus have been in the band. I've been fortunate enough to tour some fantastic bands, play some amazing festivals around Europe and whatnot, and do some. I've done that, but this is in a band where Angus is my best pal. Rich is one of my best pals, and I've known Rich a lot less than Angus, and I wouldn't want to miss anything with those. I can't wait to play to 100 people. I can't wait to be the opening band on a tour in front of 100 people again, but the venue holds 1,000 people because everyone's coming in later. I don't want to miss anything. And hopefully in a couple of years' time, when things are going really well, we can look back and be like, yeah, we did it right. We wrote good music, we toured, we played shows, we cared, and it's so easy now for other people to go down other routes and to get themselves known and whatnot. But I like to think that, we've done it because we wrote something good more than anything else. I mean, if you look at us, there's nothing different. There's nothing outstanding about us as people. We just want it to be the best band, and there's no real gimmicks here or whatnot. It's just, we want to be a good band. We want to be a proper band, and we want to have the chance to show people that we can be a good band. And hopefully that does extend beyond this, beyond this album.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I think with that, that's an amazing note to end on. I just love that positivity that's going on and looking forward to the future and all the great moments that are sure to come. And, you know, despite some technical issues, wherever they came from, I'm so glad that we were able to do this interview. It was a great time being able to talk to you, being able to support Urne, being able to support the debut album of Serpent and Spirit coming out next Friday through Candlelight Records. I am absolutely serious when I say this is one of my favorite releases of 2021. I can't wait to be able to show this thing off, being able to talk about it with my top albums of the year when it comes at the end of the year, and promote that again at the end of the year, and, you know, just everything that come along with that. And it was just great to be able to talk to you about everything that you got going on.
Man, wicked. Thank you for having me. I'm glad we sorted out the technical issues, and hopefully, you know, let's see if we can have a catch up in a few months and we see how things are going.